Hello and welcome to a new card tutorial here at justonemorecard.com. Today's a very special day. It's January the 5th and Paulina from Pretty Pink Posh is releasing some new products, and she enclosed these beautiful micro beads in the Christmas card she sent me. It just arrived a few days ago, and of course I just had to create a card. Those microbeads are really tiny, which means you can create shaker cards with those things that wouldn't be possible with sequins. So let's dive right in. I have this A2 sized card base from, I think I used Basil Marshmallow cardstock, I think. And then I used these femme frame dies by Mama Elephant. You see me using those all the time to create two panels. This is a paper panel made out of the same cardstock as my card base. And this will go at the very front of the card. And I've also die cut this fun foam piece with the same die. And you can see that I've cut off the top, and that is because for some reason it was longer than the paper piece. Don't ask me why. Mysteries of the crafting world. But these will go on top of each other like this. Excuse me, please. So I've die cut this butterfly drift. This is a die by Simon Says Stamp, and all the supplies are listed in the video description below from my cardstock. And now I'm super carefully removing the piece. I don't want to tear it. And of course it didn't cut perfectly everywhere, just my luck. So, and I used a shim, but it still didn't work. But it's not too bad because I have my crafting knife, and so I was able to just cut the few areas where it didn't die cut through perfectly. And I'm saving all the little pieces, and you will see at the end why I need one of those little pieces still. So keep those. The trick was now to die cut the butterfly drift from the fun foam in the exact same position as the card, like the card piece that's on the very top. So I've aligned the scallops of the paper piece with the scallops of the fun foam, and now I'm just nudging around the die in between them until it's somewhat, positioned. I've taped it down at the bottom and then checked at the top and saw that it was still a little bit off, so I'm repositioning my tape to make sure that the die stays in place. And now I'm checking again, and you can see that now, excuse me please, the paper and the fun foam line up. If you hear me coughing, I'm still struggling with the remnants of a really nasty cold, so I apologize for any weird sounds. The die cut the fun foam absolutely perfectly, and I'm taking out the solid pieces, but I try to leave the frame where it is because I'll need it anyway, and it needs to go there anyway, so I'm not tearing it out. Now I'm cutting off the scallops with a knife, and the reason for that is I don't want the fun foam to show underneath the paper piece. So I kind of want people to wonder, why is it so solid? Why doesn't it sag? So that's why I'm cutting off the scallops. I needed the scallops to align everything for die cutting the butterflies, but I don't need them anymore. Now I'm putting tons and tons of adhesive on the back of the paper piece, and I'm doing this on a scratch piece of paper, so I don't mind if the adhesive goes onto the work surface. I keep all the packaging paper, literally everything. I have an extra box for that, because for this it's just perfect. I don't have to worry about it, and I can just fold it up and use the outside of it now, and then I can throw it away. So I never throw away any packaging paper. And now I'm adhering a piece of acetate onto the sticky side of the cardstock, and this is this is the top, and you will look through onto the micro beads through the acetate. Here I have my fun foam piece, and what I did off camera was I used the Tombow Mona multi-glue and made like tiny droplets of glue between the outline shape and the solid shape of the fun foam, so it will actually all stick together. Sorry if I don't explain it right. I hope you get it anyway. And now the trick is I somehow have to get the paper piece onto the fun foam piece, glued together without getting any glue onto the acetate. And I hate this part. I admit I hate this part because I usually mess this up. So what I did is I adhered a lot of Tombow Mona multi-glue with the wide end that sticks up right now onto the solid pieces of the card part, and now I'm just adding little droplets of glue, like outlining the butterfly drift because that's just like easier. And then holding my breath, literally holding my breath super carefully, I put it down and I managed not to smear it. I'm super happy. And then I just used my iPad mini to hold it down. Because what else would you use? Excuse me, please. Now I'm using my Copic markers to color in the butterfly outline drift here while the card base or like the card front panel is drying. And I'm using a few different colors, and I wanted, spring colors, something fresh, nothing Christmassy anymore. I can't see red and green anymore, literally. And now I'm just testing if everything is working out all right, and I'm already super happy because I can see how it's coming together. So this was just a test run, but awesome. So now I somehow have to put the micro beads in here and then somehow attach this to the card base without turning over the front piece. And I was puzzled for a while how to do this. Here's how I did it. I just cut a piece of paper that is the exact same size as the front panel of an A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, the exact same size. I'm putting this on my craft surface and I'm holding it down with some tape, simply so it doesn't move, because like movement is really not what you want right now. You want everything to stay right in place. So I'm going to pretend that this is my card base. This is what I'm going to pretend. Now I'm taking this piece, and the foam side, which will go on the actual card, looks up at you right now. And I'm aligning this piece exactly in a way as it would go on the actual card base. So it's all centered, all the borders are even, because later on I will just use the very bottom piece, this A2 sized piece, and the corners of that to align this with my actual card base. You'll see me do that if it's not quite clear. I hope you can follow. Sorry if it's confusing. So grabbing the microbeads from Pretty Pink Posh, and they come in this awesome reusable little plastic bag. So you can clip this closed again and the microbeads will stay in place, which is good because they're tiny. And this is just a piece of actually straw that you could use like to drink. I cut most of it off and just left this because it acts as a little spoon. And I'm just literally spooning the microbeads now into the openings in the fun foam. And I'm purposefully not using a lot of microbeads here because I want this to move a lot. And if I fill up the butterflies, then it won't move so much. So that's why I'm not using a terrible lot. But I think you can already guess why I'm going through all this trouble with the fun foam, etc. I want each butterfly to be its own compartment of a shaker. So each butterfly is its own shaker. This way I can guarantee that even the butterfly at the very top will have microbeads in it, even if the card stands upright. If you would just have one opening, all the microbeads would gather at the bottom and you wouldn't have any at the top. So here I'm using the wide end of the Tombow Mono stick to apply glue to the large areas, and then again I'll be applying little droplets of glue around the outline of the butterflies. So sorry. I hate this cold, seriously. So as you can see, it's a little bit involved, but it really pays off. And now my head gets in the way, I'm sorry. But I lined up the corners of my actual card piece with the very bottom piece, the paper that I die cut. And now I'm removing, I waited for a while, again, put my iPad mini on there, waited for a while, and now I'm literally praying that this will work. And it did! Yay! So happy. You have no idea. Like, the grin on my face was so wide because I was so happy that this worked and that the fun foam is high enough to actually have the microbeads move. This is so awesome. So now I'm using my finger to dab on glue onto the butterfly drift. In retrospect, I should have just used multi-medium matte, but for some reason I had the Tombow ready, so I was just using that. And I'm using my finger to tap it on because that's the easiest and fastest way to glue up the entire backside of this very intricate die cut. And now the most difficult thing comes. Basically, I have to adhere this onto the card without getting any glue on the acetate where it's not supposed to go. It's a nightmare. It took me a while, but it worked. Like, work slowly, work patiently, because right now you really don't want to mess it up. And here goes the last piece. That's why I kept all the little pieces, because sometimes you need one and you don't even realize it when you start. And my apologies. And this little piece here just goes in here and fills up the empty space, and now it's absolutely perfect. And I'm using my Wink of Stella pen to add some glitter to the drift here, to the colored pieces. And I was very careful because I only wanted the glitter to be on the outline, not on the white card base, not on the acetate, just there. So it took a while, but that was like the easiest part of the entire card. At some point I also realized I had forgotten to stamp a sentiment. So I was very happy I had the solid foam behind the card front, and the stamping turned out wonderfully. I was so scared I would mess up the card now, because that's just my talent. And here you have a close-up. You can also see that you can see that you cannot see, at least not really, the foam behind it. You really have to peek underneath it, but otherwise you can't see the foam behind it, which is absolutely awesome, because it looks as if there's just paper on the front of the card. So this is the card. You have all the butterflies with their individual shaker compartments. You have those beautiful fresh colors. And I hope you get inspired. I hope you try the microbeads, and see you again soon. Bye. Thanks for watching.